So if I just said, I have questions,
Like, well, yeah,
this
for many
person would be
years. And then when
upset.
later I didn't
Oh, I
go
don't get to vote
to
on
all
it.
of them when I started having larger
come
staff
in
and stuff.
and
But
sit
yeah,
down with the-
between Eagle Point and Cartograph, we'd go to the county engineers all the time. That was in yours, the pop, but
No, but
in
just-
the
'cause
early 90s, everybody was getting computers for the first
I
time.
go
That's
through
what
all
we did.
My agendas for
So
the
we
past
would
year.
sell software, engineering software, and then
I guess
that
probably
early
for-
until Gateway kind of killed us, and
Yes,
by
probably
'93
for-
or so, maybe
It's just
two,
the bigger-
we'd have hardware and plotter sales, all that.
How are you? Yeah, it's kind of my baby though. I like it.
Competition. Templates were harder to figure out, weren't they? Templates were a little harder to jack with. You had some programming, but really good Earthworks computation.
Okay, we'll convene the Board of Supervisors meeting. And it's the Monday, February 25th meeting of the Dubuque County Board of Supervisors. Proclamations, I don't believe we have any. So we'll go to approval of minutes of the meetings of February 11, 15, and 22. They were distributed by email. What's your pleasure?
I found them all good. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve the minutes as distributed. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, carried 3-0. All right, consent items. We have 3. I will read these consent items. Section A, manure management plan, Tom Cook Dairy. B, manure management plan, Ryan Brothers Pork. C, manure management plan, Phillips Pork Production. And my understanding is we can address these all at once.
That's correct.
Motion to approve.
And I will second that motion.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve the consent items, A, B, and C. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, carried 3-0. All right, procurement procedures. A, proof of publication, request for bid, shooting range interior improvements. Is David here? Are you here for this item? Come on up.
Well, that's just the,
These are just.
Oh,
that's just the proof. We
I'm
can
sorry.
accept In a bit, he'll be there. I'll,
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the proof of publication for the shooting range bids.
Second.
Okay.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded to approve the proof of publications for the shooting range, interior improvements. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, carried. Next, proof of publication, notice to bidders, solar array at West Campus.
I'll make a motion to approve that
Second.
publication.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve the proof of publication. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, carried 3-0. C, receipt of proposals, installation of a solar photovoltaic PV array at the Dubuque County West Campus. It's a receipt of
How
proposals.
many do we have there? We have 4? One. That was to the auditor's office? Yeah. To your office? Okay.
Very clear.
And in the past, has the deadline been a hard deadline? Okay,
Hold on that. So is that how the board want to proceed? Do we want to take action on that right now? That we have 3 or 4 bids?
to me, it sounds like, if they didn't meet the agreed to deadline, I don't think we can, like I said, I don't wanna know who it was, or anything. But if it was a hard deadline and they didn't meet it, to me, 7 minutes isn't any different than a day. Was it a case where it came to a different department? We've had that.
They walk in and she said, you're late, deadline was 4 o'clock, and she said, I don't know if they'll accept this. And they said, well, okay.
Did she timestamp it and everything? Okay.
So your
We have 3 that are timely.
Yeah,
okay, your recommendations, that one is late? Okay, so this looks like we'll have 3 proposals then. Okay.
Okay, so you open this one, right? Okay, so looks like the first one open here is from Blue Sky Solar. And just kind of give a little background, this is for a 165.6 kilowatt solar photovoltaic system. Okay, looks like the price being quoted here is $192,096. $192,096.
You know you're gonna review these, Anthony. Is that for the whole array, that's for the whole rooftop?
This would be the whole system. It doesn't cover the entire rooftop. It's be approximately about a quarter of the rooftop.
Okay, so it's the newer section or the last request?
What was that?
Go ahead with the opening, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's about a quarter of the new shop's roof space is what it's gonna cover.
but it's the bid is for the full project
Yes.
for the solar array?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, the next bid is from Simple Ray, and they are out of Fairfield, Iowa. Let's see. Okay, looks like their total cost is $241,400. $241,400. there's obviously lots to review with this, so we will check these over. And it looks like the final bid is from Eagle Point Solar. Okay, looks like the contract bid here is $248,640. $248,640. Okay, that would be it.
Okay. Anthony, will you review the bids and make sure they're up to the specifications?
Yes.
Okay.
I plan on getting with Chris Soder at least, and maybe trying to bring somebody else in as well to review. I don't know what your thoughts are on one of the supervisors being in with the review as well. I'd like more eyes the better on this.
I don't have a problem doing it, but if you,
I would
want-
say you follow your normal procedure at this time. I usually don't review bids, so for other purchases, so I would prefer to stay out of it.
Okay.
But I think it's wise to have yourself, Chris, others, whether it's FEH or other ones, to help you review, make sure it's apples to apples that we're comparing, and make sure that the bids match the specs that we put out.
Yep.
if you ask for supervisor to be there, I'll be happy to come. So
Okay.
you let me know.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to receive the bids and refer to the county engineer and his team to review and make a recommendation.
Second.
Right, motion made and seconded to receive the bids, refer to the county engineer. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carried, 3-0. Procurement procedures 4D, recommendation and notice of award for Dubuque County Shooting Range interior improvements. I'm assuming this is where we bring David up.
I think that's sure.
Hello, David. All right. Okay, you have a recommendation for us?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we only got one bid.
Right.
I think just a couple things to consider is whether there's an appetite to do the electrical now or whether that should wait. One of the biggest issues is going to this mega rubber system. The cost of that was a little over $208,000. I know we approached the board a couple months ago about there being long-term savings, but obviously the upfront cost. So it gets into the total cost of the project being over the $850 that we did a dollar for dollar match with our take-home squad purchases. So I guess I'm looking for, on behalf of the sheriff, to get a little direction on which way the board would like to go with this.
I'm catching up on your document, so the notice of award, which part is over? I didn't think to the interior range improvements, you've got the backstop and we've got the concrete work, or am I
No,
off?
just the concrete work, but I'm just looking for the total
Okay,
price.
I am too.
I got a 90,000 and then an alternate of 30, and that's what you're recommending?
Well, it's a matter of whether we want to do that electrical at the same time we want to do that concrete, or whether we want to push that off to, a couple years down the road, because ultimately we're over that 850,000 that we agreed upon for the dollar for dollar match.
And by how much?
Well, right now with the cost of this concrete, we're probably, I would guess, close to 50,000 over. And I know at one time when we approached the board, there was some discussion about making it functional. If it did go over, they seemed to have the appetite for it. It's just, I guess I wanted to,
We thought it'd be closer to a $50,000 project, came in at 90, is that
Well-
where we're at as far as the bids? And then
We
were
co-
the other bids, we had one bid?
one bid. So several people pulled the specs on it. MSA had contacted several of the people, and the larger company said it was too small, and the smaller company said it was too big. So this is what we were left with.
And so for the whole sum, let me ask you this. So the backstop, is that piece done? Did we,
It's been ordered.
okay,
I don't think it's been paid for yet.
but we have a firm price on that?
$208,283.12.
Okay, and so is this the last piece, at least from this phase related to concrete?
Correct.
There any
I mean,
other-
we owe a little for the dirt work. I mean, they gotta come back in the spring and just make sure there's no issues.
Heating and some other stuff,
So
potentially
they
draining?
haven't been made whole yet, so there's money allocated for that. And then, we got the price for the bullet trap, and then this is, really the last part of it to make it functional.
So if we accept the first and the alternative, we'll be over by what?
You'll probably be over by closer to 80.
80,000? So from 850 to 930?
Well, right now, if you accept it as is, you're at 1,042,000 roughly.
'Cause
But
the
we had already
earlier
paid
it's
it.
where you already paid for.
We already paid about 100,000, and then that 850,000 came in for the squad cars.
Okay.
Is there a reason we need to proceed tonight?
Well, we do need some direction because we ordered the trap, the bullet trap. We had to take possession of it within 6 months. And we accepted that I believe back in January. And so the concrete work at least needs to be done before they can set the trap.
But most likely that won't be until it gets a little warmer.
Exactly. I mean, initially we were hoping for around the middle of April, but there's no way that's gonna happen now. I'm sure that there's a lot of frost still left in the ground and.
Can you store the trap outside on site?
Well, we
Or
have
do
to
you wanna
take it
move
within.
once, or
right.
what's the?
I don't know that we can store it off-site. We have to take it within 6 months, which I think pushes into June. So there's no reason, I don't think that the concrete work will be done, whether a decision now or,
I think
Subsequent
My
meetings.
thought was that we are flying without Stella Rundy tonight. We don't have numbers before us. And it's always beneficial for me to see the numbers laid out, so we see where really are we on budget and where have things really been going before we start looking at adding on additional costs. And all I would be doing was anticipating tabling it until our next board meeting, and giving that Stella Rundy a chance to be here I'd like to see a presentation of some numbers, so that it reviews everything for me. I'm not feeling fluid about the cost of the shooting.
my only concern would be the fact that we only had one bidder. And obviously we want to get on the work schedule, and that would be, for some of these, I think some of these concrete companies now, they're lining up the work for, the warmer weather where, whether it was a matter of at least if the board would approve the concrete work and maybe hold off on the electrical so we could at least let them know so we could get penciled in, because with that trap, we are up against a hard deadline,
Okay,
so.
good point. But the electric alternative, does that have to be decided tonight?
No,
Do we have any, it's just a matter of whether we are interested in adding that on?
correct.
And
I mean,
I'm
we can-
hesitant to do that without
Right.
having the numbers before us.
Well, the numbers are here. You want to know where they would come from, or?
You want to see the whole
Numbers of
summary,
the
probably.
project,
The
the
whole
breakdown of
project.
the project. We're talking, as I understand this, we're talking about a $31,000 additional cost tonight approving that.
Are you, okay.
Is that budgeted somewhere? And I just don't realize that.
No, I'm just wanting to know if you, I mean, we just had our budget hearing and,
I think this was in fiscal year 19,
okay,
so, is that right?
I believe so.
would this
Yeah.
be
So
from?
it's all in this current fiscal year that we're budgeted. I don't have the exact number in front of me either, so that would be helpful. And then, as you can tell by my question, I was trying to get a feeling of the scope as well. How, the bid, do you have a expiration date on this as all? Is there any project schedule that we provided, or are we just,
To be honest with you, I'd have to go back.
I
and
don't
review
see
it
the
again.
project schedule or anything, so,
I mean, I think, yeah, I'd have to go back and review it.
because, you know, this is just general assumptions, considering it's really cold and it's been snowing a lot, is that no one will be doing any flat work for concrete
true.
for another couple months, for sure. I don't know how that relates to their schedules and bids, so it could work in our favor, or it could work against you, that
Right.
they accept larger projects, potentially if it's indoors or something. Yeah, I think it would be helpful if we had maybe a summary on that, if that's what Supervisor McDonough would like, we get a summary of the entire project. There was a lot of moving parts on this. I'm generally in favor of moving forward with concrete pads and electricity. I think those are core fundamental things you need to use this range, so you're not standing in mud or just unable to, you know, use the facility based upon drainage. And then I think electricity is a basic need.
Right, I guess my concern is just that we're looking at big numbers without anything before us that look at numbers.
I have some stuff somewhere here.
I mean,
We
I
have a
think,
budget director who does this, she's just not with us this evening.
yeah, well, I mean, I think it would be helpful. I mean, our budget can hold this times 10.
Well, that's,
So that's not a problem. I would like to know, though, how this relates to the entire project, and, you know, can't hold in my head whether we're at 850 or 1 point some million.
Right.
So if that would be helpful, it'd be good. But I know
We
going
have-
through our budget cycle we just did, that, you know, clearly this wouldn't be a pressure point for our budget overall, but it still would be something we want to make sure that we need.
Right.
And maybe we can get a different bid. That's what I would be looking for, is that you wait another 20 or 30 days, maybe you can get a better bid.
Yeah, we had talked to MSA about that, but.
Your delivery's 6 months, though. It seems like we have plenty of time, based upon what you've said, but I don't.
June is when we have to have it.
Take receipt.
And so the concrete has to be done and cured. I guess I don't know what the curing process is, but there is I think a 3-foot wall in the back that we need to take.
Yeah.
This rubber trap's delivered, it's gotta get
I
installed.
would think there's a lot of variables between signing this contract now in June and taking delivery, so I don't feel much pressure.
Okay.
Short of June might not come, in what we typically think June is gonna be. And so, you know, if the ground's not in good condition in April, May, you know, our contractors might have trouble getting in there.
I think you still have to take possession of all that material, is what you're saying.
Right,
They're gonna perform on their end of the contract and they're gonna deliver. Unless
Exactly.
there's some kind of language in the contract that allows for it to be weather-related. We're gonna have to find some storage for something, so it's good and wise
Right.
to make sure we've got the concrete ready if we can get that done. I don't see anybody here who's be able to run through the math quickly, and I don't mean to take away from you, but
Well, that's
you're
fine.
doing ballpark numbers as well.
Yeah.
okay, so we want to table this?
I'm gonna move to table until our next supervisors meeting, which I believe is March 11th.
I will second that.
Okay, motion made and seconded to table. Any action on the recommendation and notice of award for the Dubuque County Shooting Range interior improvements?
Is there anything you're gonna need from the sheriff's side of it before?
I think maybe just an overall updated breakdown of the project. We've had, in the past, we've had projections, so now we have actual, I guess, like to see how it stacks up against the whole project. I think that's the question, right? And then we want to have Stella involved in that as well.
So I'm gonna, maybe this isn't the time and place to ask, but the contract where we accepted and we started the motion to run the 6 months, is it helpful to have our county attorney just look at that to see if, June looks a lot different now than it did probably when you executed that in January when winter still looked like it might be mild. Now it looks like winter may never end.
We can do that. I think that Ralph maybe I did that back
Oh,
prior to
okay.
him leaving.
I'm just worried about that term of taking possession, if there's any kind of notice or any wiggle room to give them something, just a
Okay.
thought.
Okay.
Okay.
Our county attorney is in the back of the room, so writing down some notes.
All right, anything else? All in favor of tabling signify by saying aye. Aye. Carried. Thanks, Dave.
Chief Deputy, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Public hearings. Item number 5 on the agenda. A, notice of public hearing, amendment to zoning ordinances. A1. ZC number 02-03-19. Reese Bohr C-1 Conservancy to R3 Single Family Residential. Okay, so can we do all these?
Yes.
Or do we have to do them separate?
No.
Okay, all right, thank you, I'll continue. Number two, A2, ZC number 02-04-19, Daniel and Lori Redinger, A1 Agriculture to A2 Agriculture Residential. A3, ZC number 02-05-19, Roger and Judith Heiderscheit and Gordon Glau and Carmen Hafel, A1 Agricultural to A2 Agricultural Residential. A4, 5A4, ZC number 2-06-19, Barbara Schlitzer Trust and Mark Schlitzer, A1 Agricultural to A2 Agricultural Residential. 5A5, ZC number 02-07-19, Michael and Lisa Kropfel, A1 Agricultural to R3 Single Family Residential. What's your pleasure? These are for the notice of public hearings.
Is it appropriate to have a motion to? That's all we've got.
You want to read the date? Is that what you're saying? Read the date
Where
off
does it
when
say
they're
that?
published. Or top of the 5A.
Public hearing to be held.
Okay.
Yep, in this room. Our March 11th meeting.
As required by Section 335 Iowa Code and pursuant to the recommendations of the Dubuque County Planning and Zoning Commission, notice is hereby given to all interested citizens of Dubuque County, Iowa, that on Monday, March 11th, 2019, at 9 a.m., 4th floor Supervisor's Office, Dubuque County Courthouse, Dubuque, Iowa. Public hearing will be held on proposed amendments to the zoning ordinance and zoning map of Dubuque County, Iowa, which could, if approved, change the hereinafter described property and real estate from one zoning classification to another. And we did review those.
I will make a motion to approve the notice of public hearing.
Second?
Motion made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It's carried. 6, item number 6 on the agenda, approval of plats. We have a resolution regarding the final plat of Kennedy Farm subdivision, Section 22, Taylor Township.
I know that, yeah, you can see it here, but it should be going up there.
Is it different than what's in the Dropbox?
No, it's the same that's in your Dropbox. So. Yeah, I thought that you.
Well, maybe they'll come down.
It is what's in your Dropbox.
Would you like to see it, anyone? Would you be interested in?
The gentleman is here, that's for the case, so.
Okay,
I mean, that's your call.
I just didn't know if anyone wanted to see that. I mean, this is the best you're gonna get today is what's been our Dropbox.
okay.
Ready for me?
And if you want to see it, I have, okay, all right. Okay, let's proceed. Tammy, you want to?
Okay, you bet. Okay, so this is for the Kennedy Farm subdivision final plat. The property is known as Kennedy Farm subdivision final plat. The property is owned by James and Deborah Kennedy and is located 1.07 miles south of the city of Epworth along Pilot Grove Road with a total of 45.094 acres surveyed. The property is zoned A1 agricultural and A2 agricultural residential. Rezoning of the property to A2 agricultural residential was approved on zoning case number 1041 of 18. The purpose of the plat is to separate the home and the buildings from the cropland to sell to the son and the daughter-in-law for estate purposes. The survey creates two lots. Lot 1 is a total of 40.746 acres and it will remain in current ownership and use. Lot 2 is a total of 4.34 acres surveyed and it will be sold to the son and daughter-in-law. Lot 1 will use an existing field entrance off of Koopman Road, and Lot 2 will use an existing residential entrance off of Pilot Grove Road. There were no additions or corrections required for this plat. There are no liens or mortgages on the property. Some of the signatures are over 60 days old, and they include the owner, December 18th of 2018, surveyor, November 26, 2018, attorney, December 16, 2018, City of Epworth, December 12, 2018, County Assessor, December 18, 2018, County Treasurer, December 12, 2018, County Engineer, December 20th, 2018, and County Planning and Zoning, December 18th of 2018. This plat has been reviewed by myself as plats officer and has all the required signatures. I respectfully recommend approval. So as you're looking at in your inbox, this was a prior rezoning case. This was an A2 case because of, it's all for estate purposes for the family. So the children are gonna be moving into the homestead and continue to assist in the farming operation, and they need to plat this off for estate purposes.
Okay.
So that lot 2 is where the home is and where the children will move into that home.
And there's a tie-in with the agricultural
Yes.
component.
And you had already, in October, had approved the rezoning for this property, and
Okay.
just had taken a little time to get the plat to you, that's all.
All right. Seems pretty straightforward. Any questions?
Nope, I'll make a motion to approve the plat.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the plat. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carried 3-0. Okay,
Did you want to sign that or advice? Not too far from done if he wants to wait.
want me to proceed, or is there something you want me to,
I can't.
Sign.
Gary, nope.
you want?
Nope. We're good.
Okay. No, I thought we could get it signed for him and,
He's gonna take it upstairs.
okay,
Come back tomorrow.
all right.
My bad.
Okay, next up, action items. Agenda item number 7. A, resolution, appointment of deputies, assistants, and clerks. It looks like we've got concert one, permanent full-time conservation, natural resources tech. We've got Sunnycrest Manor, permanent part-time food service worker, and Sunnycrest, permanent full-time LPN. Dawn is not with us, so I assume that the fact that this is on here, that she's recommending it, so. What's your pleasure?
Well, the Sunnycrest is, date approved is August 14th of 18.
That means the position?
Was set, like publicized or recruited for?
Right, this is
Open.
the actual filling. We actually have the names in here, Conservation, Nicholas Banworth.
I see that. but
Sunny, yeah,
I guess what I don't understand is date approved, what that means.
that would have been when the Board of Supervisors approved the personnel requisition.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
No, I'm comfortable with it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second?
Okay, there's a motion made and seconded to approve the resolution in 7A. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carried 3-0. 7B, resolution approving the tax abatement for St. Luke's Methodist Episcopal and the City of Cascade. I don't know if I should read this into the record. Is there anybody here to speak on this?
Looks like Cascade's taken over a church.
I don't know any,
I'll read it. Whereas St. Luke's Methodist Episcopal is currently the owner of parcel DUBA 10244540009 and 10244550001, 2015 HF 616, granted an exemption of land value for grounds owned by religious institutions if the income received was used solely for the appropriate objects of the institution. St. Luke's qualifies for this exemption and will reduce $1,012 from the 2017 tax records. The City of Cascade has owned parcel numbers 19314260008 and 19321260006 and had rented out a portion of the building. That has now come to an end and the city will be using the whole building. On parcel number 19314260008, we need to abate $367 from the 2017 tax records. And on parcel number 19321260006, we will collect $364 of prorated taxes and abate $57 from the 2017 tax record. Therefore, be it resolved that the Dubuque County Board of Supervisors, in accordance with the 2017 Iowa Code Chapter 445.63, $1,436 in 2017 current tax shall be abated. Resolution adopted this 25th day of February 2019. What's your pleasure on the resolution?
does anyone know anything about the facts of this? I mean, I understand what we just read, but does it,
I have no other facts in here. I would assume this came from County Treasurer Stearman, but not sure about that. I guess we can take action on it, or we can table it if you're not comfortable.
I mean, I don't know if any of that's true or accurate, or, I don't know who submitted it, I don't know. And you know that because that's the only person who would, or Mary, he talked to you directly, or?
It was emailed to Dawn and I.
And the email said what?
Attached is the resolution passed at the next work meeting.
So do you want a chance to visit with Eric Stearman on this hand to verify the amounts?
And I'm not sure that I would, obviously, I didn't ask him any questions since I got this in my Dropbox on Friday, but I'm not sure. I'm just looking for context. These are not necessarily big amounts of money, and it's for charities.
Want to learn about it now, yeah, I think it's,
But I don't want to stand in the way of something because I need to learn about it. I mean, you two have done this a lot longer than me. Does this raise anything with you?
No, I think it's routine,
Okay.
but
just generally speaking, yeah. I mean, it's got a few moving parts with, the church and the city owns the property, but yeah. So there's usually just one, it makes it easier, but there's two on this. But yeah, we've abated a few, maybe 10 or 20 in my couple of years, so it doesn't happen every month.
Right.
But there's a few.
And sometimes Eric does come to the meeting, I think, I'm just guessing, to the meetings that are during the day, he would probably be here, standing in front of us, but this happens to be a night meeting, and I shouldn't even, you know.
Yeah, so
Anyway, if, I don't think it's the end of the world if you'd like to have a chance to talk to Eric about this. If we table it and we take it up at the next meeting, I'm okay with that. But these are routine, they come up from time to time. So I guess unless we had if there was a big number that didn't look like it fit or something, that would be what I would be looking for, but,
and it comes from elected officials as well. So I mean, elected officials, that's
Right, well,
That's-
that
that's
gives a
their
lot
role.
of context. They're
Yeah.
just trying to get
that's
this
their
moved
role
through,
is to
because that's what their job is too.
that's
so,
right.
Right.
Yeah, and so we fully trust that these numbers are right and that the parcel numbers are correct and accurate. That's what they do well. So I will make a motion to approve
Okay,
the resolution.
all right. I will second it. All right, is there any further discussion?
I would like it to be unanimous. If it's not going to be, I'll rescind my motion.
Okay.
I mean, if Supervisor McDonough, if you're not,
I don't
if
know
you're
what
not-
I'm voting on, so that's where I'm
what
gonna
would you
be
like
on
to
it.
do?
I would prefer to table until
I'll
I have
rescind
some
my motion.
background.
I'll
Thank you.
rescind my
His
motion.
motion is rescinded, I rescind my second. Was there another motion?
Motion to table to March 11th.
I will second that.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, carried 3-0. Okay, action item 7C, resolution approving the agreement with Samuels Group for pre-construction services for the jail needs assessment. I'll read this real quick. Whereas the Dubuque County Sheriff desires to use the professional services of the Samuels Group for a pre-construction jail needs assessment, and whereas the Samuels Group has presented an agreement for their services at a cost of $5,000. Now therefore be it resolved that the Dubuque County Board of Supervisors approves and authorizes the chair to sign the agreement. And there is a document in the Dropbox regarding the pre-construction services for the jail needs assessment.
This has previously come before us, correct?
Yes.
Asking, this is just,
I believe that is part of the budget presentation. Yeah.
just going out for an assessment.
But this is 5,000, right? Right,
But we had 50,000 allocated.
right. I just didn't want to I wanted to make sure it wasn't a misprint, so, okay. All right. Any other questions?
How familiar are you with this, Chief Deputy?
A little bit. I mean, the biggest issue why we're looking at doing them, this is kind of their business, so when we have these companies coming in to do this needs assessment, they're actually gonna help us do some of the interviews. Obviously, they know a lot more what questions I ask than what we do, and they'll be reviewing, the information that's provided by these companies.
And there's lots of they've done this work. It's, numerous examples are listed in their proposal.
Okay,
I make a motion to approve the agreement with Samuels Group for pre-construction services for the jail needs assessment.
I will second that.
okay. There's actually the motion, and I ask you to, would that motion be to approve the resolution approving the agreement?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You still second that?
Yes.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carried 3-0. Okay, item number 8, communications. We have a letter from the city of Dubuque regarding amending and restating the Greater Downtown Urban Renewal Plan. It's addressed to Supervisor Wickham.
Inappropriately listed as the chair,
The record reflect.
Supervisor Baker, so, yeah, it's basically their positioning to deal with, the Flex Steel property. To help them make it more accessible and economically development friendly.
Normally, we'd be looking for receive and file.
I will make a motion to receive and file.
Okay,
Second.
motion to receive and file the communication. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, carried 3-0. Proof of publication, 8B under communications. This would be proof of publication amendment to zoning ordinance ZC number 01-01-19, Murphy Dairy Farms, number 1. ZC number 01-02-19, Murphy Dairy Farms, number 2. And it's a proof of publication, so we'd be looking for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the proof of publication.
Okay,
And
Receive and file. Motion to receive and file.
I will second that motion.
okay. All right,
Thank
Good
you,
night.
Tammy.
all in favor of receiving and filing signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Carried 3-0. Appointments. 9A, we have application for Dubuque County trustee / clerk. We have from New Wine Township, Brian Cronloggy. Is that right?
Is he new or renewal? New, all right.
That's new.
New for new wine.
Motion to approve.
I would be happy if you'd be our trustee as well. I will second that.
Okay. Motion was made and seconded to approve the application of Brian Cronlaggy as New Wine Township trustee. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Carried 3-0. Current vacancies, that's information only. Okay. And
No new personnel.
any personnel requisitions? None. Tabled and pending items? None. Public comments. At this time, anyone may address the board on matters of which are of concern to that person and which are not agenda items. Please go to the podium, state your name and home address. Make your comments. However, no formal action on your comments may be taken at this time because of the notice requirements.
Can I make just a point at this time?
Sure.
I wonder if it would be helpful if we asked this at the beginning of our meeting. We actually had folks here, and maybe people would have something they want to say if we put it at the beginning of our meeting.
Here's what Lynn County does. I'm just looking at theirs, I spied on. So they have a public comment section related to agenda items to start off. And I don't know the exact structure of those. And then they have general public comments limited to 5 minutes at the end.
Right, so kind of beginning and end, and then, but it gives folks who might want to, I mean, it's a sure time to make a sure comment, and then.
Well, before we decide on things. So if you come to a meeting and you have to wait till the end and we've already passed it or denied it, or then your comments might be wasted. And so that's why I think they make comments on the agenda items at the beginning, so you can hear those.
I think that's something to consider. I think the city does kind of a hybrid version of that. They have a public comment section about halfway through their meeting. I attended their meeting last Monday, I believe, and they had some, they did an award for the 14 firefighters and EMS providers, and then they go through some agenda items. Then they have a comment, and then they proceed with the rest of the meeting. So I think we should probably, you know, obviously, we can't take action on that tonight, but maybe we ask for a work session with Dawn and Mary and Denise on the agenda. And I also think that'd be a good time for us to figure out where our, I think we talked about our legislative update at 12:30. So we could kind of tie that all up in a neat bow and reshape our agenda accordingly. Yeah, I think either we do a work session at some point to discuss this. 'Cause I don't think we can make a change tonight because it wasn't on the agenda. So, but I like that. I like the ideas, and that would give us a chance. I think that would give us a chance to see where, you know, it best fits our needs. The Lynn County version, the City of Dubuque version, other versions, so.
Yeah, well, and if, you know, I've just been kind of spying on a few other counties to see what they do over the last bit. And so there's more than just that. There's other things other counties do that I think would be interesting, and I think it might tie in. We have I guess a project to look at how agenda items get on there and then tie to the web and other types of things as well, so you get more public discourse. So there's a lot of other things to chew on, but if we wanted to, I think it'd be a really good move if you wanted to have public comments about the agenda from day one, right away on the onset. I think that would make sense.
I don't disagree
I don't have
with
high
that.
expectations that we'll get a lot of people commenting, but, you know, it's logical to have them comment before you make decisions,
Right.
as opposed to after.
Right,
Okay, what do you have to say?
This particular public comments specifically says it's for items that are not on the agenda.
Yes.
Which would kind of be an after the fact, hey, by the way, I had this issue, it's not on the agenda, but I wanted to talk to you about it. Yeah,
We probably could solve the same thing by just as procedure. Is there anyone that would like to speak related to this item? You could say that on every one.
Yeah.
And, you know, you could entertain that comment each time without having it be a standard
And-
item right away.
and in practice, I think we've been pretty open to letting people talk.
But occasionally you don't, you know, if you get somebody new and you
Yeah.
don't know them, they're sitting there quietly, then they've missed their opportunity.
Right.
Right.
But there's a lot of those things, and then there's, you know, a lot of the other county supervisors, they have their own supervisor reports, similar to the city council has their reports, and that's
Right.
kind of a whatever, they have a legislative update, you know, committees and other things they serve on, so I'm not saying we have to do those, but there's a little different style in the other ones.
Yeah, I think it's good to look and make improvements where we can. We don't have to do what's always been done.
But definitely the public comments up front, I would fully support.
Yeah, sounds
Good idea.
Sounds good. Is that what you had in mind, Ann?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
just something I,
okay.
it's good.
I will
Thank you
make
for
a
being
motion
responsive.
to
I think adjourn.
adjourn.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to adjourn, 6:24 PM. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 On the record.
How could I have gotten 27 emails sent